Tin&Tina is 99% amazing and 1% really disappointing, and that disappointment is how it ended. I will of course discuss with a spoiler warning what I mean by that, but this will primarily be spoiler free because I do recommend the film, but I just hate it when a film is so incredible and then the ending just leaves you with a bitter taste in your mouth. So I recommend it, but just bear in mind it may not be completely satisfactory all the way through. This was released this year in 2023, written and directed by Rubin Stein, and it's about this couple who are unable to have children, so they adopt these twins, Tin and Tina. And Tin and Tina grew up in a convent. They have a very literal belief in the Bible, and things start to get dangerous around the house as a result of that. And I don't want to say too much about it, but I will say that it's absolutely brilliant. They are very creepy. They are brilliantly acted. They're played by Carlos González Morollón and Anastasia Russo, and they're just brilliant. Their performances are eerie, creepy, an absolute delight to watch. I will say Lola was a pain in the butt, by which I mean I hated her. Brilliantly played by Milena Smit. We also have Jaime Lorente as her husband Adolfo, but Lola, I honestly didn't care about what happened to her, and because she's the twins' adoptive mother, a lot of the problems are targeted at her, which isn't fair, but I didn't like her as a character. I thought she was very unlikable, and that meant that when bad things happened to her, I kind of didn't care, which sounds horrible, but she's just not a good person, and I really didn't like her at all. Whereas Adolfo, maybe he is flawed in his own ways, but definitely the better parent of the two. Which is strange because it was Lola who wanted to adopt Tin and Tina. Adolfo thought that they were maybe too old, they were looking for a much younger child, and that despite the fact that Lola really had to adopt these children, she was just a terrible mother from the start, and I really hated her and didn't care what happened to her. But beyond that, it is atmospheric. It is incredible. You might have a different opinion depending on where you're coming at it in terms of religion. I am spiritual, maybe Christian, but I know that the Bible is not literal word for word. A lot of it's allegorical, but these children don't realise that. And they think that everything is literal and has to be taken literally, and that obviously has some pretty disastrous consequences. And some of them are emotional, some of them are horrifying, and all of it is thrilling, except for the very end. And I'll discuss that now. So I will say, it's brilliantly acted. Tin and Tina are brilliant characters. Lola, I couldn't stand and absolutely hated her. Adolfo, I didn't mind too much. The development of the narrative is brilliant. The music's great. It's atmospheric, very well shot. The timing of everything is spot on. Everything is perfect, except for the last minute and a half, maybe. So I'm going to discuss that now. So spoilers from now. The only thing I have left to say is the ending. So big spoilers. Oh, this is on Netflix, by the way. But right, spoilers from now at the very end. I will say the image, the last image we get of Adolfo, I thought was fabulous, terrifying, but beautifully done. I feel like the last kind of 10 minutes were too dark, as in dimly lit, to the point where I couldn't really see very much. Things needed to be lit a little bit better, so we got a better sense of things in the surroundings. However, the bit, and this is a fantastic bit of acting, it's much more brightly lit when we see Lola's facial expressions when she sees Adolfo on fire. And the acting there is just fabulous. I hate the character, but she was brilliantly performed by Milena Smit. That point in particular, where she sees what's happening to Adolfo, and she's just, part of her is frozen, part of her is shaking, she's panicked, she's pained, she's confused, and you can see all of this in her face all at once, and I thought it was incredible, and I thought this ending is just going to be amazing, because she's going to lose her mind, and everything around her is crumbling down, literally and figuratively. And then she just all of a sudden decided the children must be innocent and she'd take them back. And I thought, what the heck are you doing? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, I don't get it. What are you talking about? Why would you do that? And I don't believe it. I don't believe the motivations. I don't believe she had any reason to think that. It's very unrealistic. It's very unbelievable. And it's also just a bit of a rubbish ending. Horrors should be, they should leave you feeling sick. Whether that's a creepy look or a glimmer that the horror is still there, the threat is still there, or a sense of foreboding. I just felt annoyed because I didn't believe her actions. I didn't believe she'd suddenly lose her husband and all of a sudden go, oh no, the nun said the children weren't there, so they must be innocent. Forget the fact they tied me up. Forget the fact they nearly drowned my son. I'll take them back. Yeah, right. So it was a terrible, terrible, terrible ending, one of the worst endings to any film I've ever seen, ever. And yet the rest of it was so glorious that I can't hate it. I can't hate the film because I thoroughly enjoyed the journey. The destination was just horrific. It was like the destination, the last, say, 2 minutes, were written by somebody who hadn't seen the rest of the film, which I assume is not the case, but that's what it felt like, and it was just one of the biggest disappointments ever. I'm glad I saw this at home. I don't know if it was ever screened in the cinema or if it was straight to Netflix, but I'm glad I saw this at home because I just kind of went, well, I swore. I did. I swore at the laptop. What the F are you doing? Had I seen this in the cinema, I would have been outraged, and you can't really, swear, or you can if you want to. What the certificate for this is, I don't know. IMDb does not tell me what the certificate is. I'd assume 15, maybe 18. But either way, it could have been brilliant. It could have been one of the best films I saw this year. And most of it really is sensational. And the last 2 minutes completely ruined it.